Good evening, and thank you for joining Pontiac United as we bring to you the Q&A with the mayoral candidates of Pontiac. Tonight we have the pleasure of being with Demar Bias, and we also have candidate Wanda Coates. Now we want you to know that Pontiac United does not endorse any of these candidates, but we just wanted to bring the information to you, the residents of Pontiac. I'm Ariel Gardner, and I will be one of the moderators for tonight. And these questions were brought to us by the citizens of Pontiac themselves. All right, Demar, over to you.
My name is Demar Bias. I am former employee of the city of Pontiac, working with downtown development as well as 50th District Court. Actually, was a city council candidate at one point. So I am representing the public at large. I'm standing here joining with Pontiac United to bring you the second session of Meet the Mayoral Candidates. And this evening we have Wanda Denise Coates. And so we're going to give Ms. Coates an opportunity to introduce herself, and then we'll start going live with questions.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Pontiac United, for having me. It is such an honor and a pleasure and an opportunity to be here. I'm just so grateful. Once again, my name is Wanda Denise Coates, and I am your candidate for Mayor, City of Pontiac. Once again, thank you for having me. It is a pleasure to be here. It is indeed a great opportunity, and I'm ready for the questions now.
All right, so it looks like our first question is coming from Francis in District 1. It says, what are your plans for tackling blight in the city? There are too many vacant buildings in Pontiac. And it says also, why aren't these buildings offered to Pontiac residents who want to better Pontiac?
Okay, once again, so the question is, I'm just going to repeat. You want to see what is my plans to renovate vacant buildings, correct? And to bring light back into the city, correct?
So she wants to know, what are you going to do about the vacant buildings in Pontiac? And can these buildings be offered to Pontiac residents who want to better Pontiac?
Yes, thank you so much. Indeed, that is a great question. One thing that I would like to do, and what I do now, with the vacant buildings, we have about 100 homeless people in the city of Pontiac, and that is a discussion that a lot of people have. For example, you have Marie that's sleeping under the Phoenix Center. You have another gentleman, Terrence, that's over there off of Telegraph. You have those two guys that's sleeping already in a abandoned building, and you have a gentleman that's actually in a wheelchair. So some of the abandoned buildings in the city of Pontiac, I would like to see those renovated so at least we could take care of the 100 homeless people that's in the city. And in addition to that, I would love for business owners to be a part of the purchasing of the building. Say, for example, we could get some home, some basically some project, not really project home, but homes available for people, maybe low income, some senior homes, maybe some programs for transitioning women and children. So there's a lot that we can do with those abandoned buildings. And yes, it is an eyesore. I do see a lot of them, but it's good that we could do things with those buildings, basically put our work back into the city of Pontiac, make sure everything is working out to build and bring our city back alive. And once again, we want to make sure that we have a heart and get those people off the street that's homeless. That would be the first step. And a lot of people that are homeless, they do have opportunities for funding. They do qualify for different avenues through the state of Michigan. So that could be something that we could do great, and it could beautify the city and get the city back on track. Thank you so much for that question. That's a great one and something dear to my heart.
Okay, I have a question, and it comes from Mike. He lives in District 6. It says, what is your plan to bring back a sense of trust for our local city government?
That's a great question. Trust. This is something, I'm a spiritual person. So part of the trust, we go a little spiritual. We could go with the fruits of the spirit. We could bring back love, peace, joy, thoughtfulness, kindness, gentleness, and self-control. part of the trust that we could do is just basically being men and women of our word. Say, for example, if there's something that we are planning to do in the city, I'm going to give you an example, maybe workforce development. Trust, we could bring back that workforce development, not only train people, but actually get them jobs. Another part of trust that we could do in the city of Pontiac and basically building pride. We could come together, for example, and have a citywide cleanup. That really basically brings families and united together. It brings the community together. That brings trust. Also, we could also have a basically a get together where we're feeding and we're eating together. That brings trust. Also, with worship, there's a lot of churches in the city of Pontiac. We come together, we worship together as one. That also brings trust. And one more last thing, trust even with the officials where it relates to the sheriff department. I'm meeting with a gentleman. Basically, he is a resident, former of Pontiac, and he's a resident also, and he's a deputy. So bringing back trust, maybe bringing a apprenticeship program, bringing a possibility for young people could be that could be a part of the sheriff department. Trust and believe that is so important. And in order for the city to move forward, we got to have trust. We got to build that trust. That's a good question. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, so it looks like this question is from Angelina in District 7. It says, where do you stand on marijuana dispensaries within the city?
So this is a great question also. If you don't mind, I do have some information. I don't want to go too long with this, but I do want to inform. And I'm just going to ask for a little audience participation. If you don't mind, get a pencil and piece of paper out because I'm going to educate you as to the steps in which the city has taken for the medical marijuana. So let me get that information right now. And that is a great question. So let me go to it right now. Okay, so just a little information so that we all could be educated.
Uh,
And I just want to give you guys a little background because a lot of people they talk about the medical marijuana, but a lot of people just don't know all the ins and outs of it. So this is what has happened with the city of Pontiac as it relates to the application, as it relates to where we're at now. So I'm going to just start off real quick with a little information, and I don't want to be too long, but I do want to inform the city of Pontiac residents. And so it started in 2018, an ordinance to allow a limited number of growers, processors.
hold on, Wanda. Before you get too deep, for some reason, I don't know if it's the speaker on your other computer, but it's like a heavy echo when you started talking.
Okay, so let me just see. Is it better now?
Do you have the feed up on your other computer?
Yes.
You need to cut the volume off on that one.
Let me just see. Is that better now?
It's better than what? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so once again, just I'm going to give you all just a little information. 2018, an ordinance to allow a limited number of growers, processors, and secure transporters for the medical marijuana facilities. And basically, the ordinance allowed zoning for 20 medical marijuana provisional centers, and that's what happened then. Basically, also about 100 candidates applied for a $5,000 unrefundable fee for processing their application. Now I'm going to get to the information as to really quickly what the application included because the process with the medical marijuana it included benefits so that the city of Pontiac residents can benefit. For example, the hours only supposed to have been from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. The applicant they had to make sure they had their full names, they had to make sure they had their federal tax ID numbers. They had to make sure that if the entity had their bylaws. The application basically they had to have a written description of the training and the education that the applicant would provide to employees. Also, they had to supply a copy of a proposed business plan with the application. The proposed ownership structure of the entity that identifies the ownership percentage of the stockholders had to be presented. A current organization chart that includes the positions and the descriptions and the names of each person had to be presented in the application. Also, a proposed organization that includes the positions and the holding. And also a proposed marketing, advertisement, and business plan had to be presented. Now, this is something too that the Pontiac residents really could have benefited from. A description of the plan with the tangible capital investment, and part of that was that 10% supposed to have went to nonprofit organizations. So that was something that's supposed to happen with the medical marijuana application. And basically a description of the proposed community outreach and educational strategies. They also had to include strategies for outreach and education for people in the city of Pontiac and the residents. And basically a description of a security plan that proposed the medical marijuana facility. And lastly, it's only two left, a plan for proper medical marijuana facility. And also it had to basically make sure that it was anything that with it was stored correctly, and an educational plan with the description of everything and make sure it was no trafficking involved. So those were some things that the applicant had to go through when they applied for the medical marijuana license. And once again, the thing that I really liked the most about it is that they had to have put in a proposed community outreach and educational strategy, meaning that with this medical marijuana, what were you going to do in the community? How were you going to help the community? And how many and I know a couple companies because I had a couple people approach me. They wanted to make sure the nonprofits got 10%. Now the medical marijuana, that is $1 billion business. And one thing that I want to see too, and I know right now the applications are still being reviewed, but I would like to see more residents have been involved in that, because it is a business that's the state of Michigan approved, and it is a business that's going to stay forever. And there's a lot of healing remedies with the medical marijuana also. So I hope that was a little information to inform. And once again, I want everybody to remember the part that I like the most was a proposed community outreach and educational strategies. And once again, lastly, that 10% what could have won and still could go to nonprofit organizations in the city of Pontiac.
Thank you for that.
Thank
So
you.
now I have a question from Kim in District 3.
Yes.
It says, what do you think of the way funding has been spent by the current administration? And the part two of it is, how can we trust you with our tax dollars to do better?
Yes, I do understand. There has been a lot of mayors, and we did have emergency manager where funding has not been clear and it has not been correct. Um, I want to remain transparent with funding, and basically, how can we do that? We could have maybe an audit every 3 months. I would love to have a team, and that's what I want to do. In order to build the city, we got to have unity in the community. We got to have teamwork, and that's what I want to do. My administration, which I'm already getting together, I want to have an accounting team. And that accounting team, we could review and actually post. That would be very transparent. Why can't we post what our spending is to the public every 3 months? One thing I want to do too, at the end of this month, part of my campaign, I am going to Charlotte, Carolina. And Charlotte, Carolina, there is a mayor there. She's doing a great job, and I want to be able to talk to her. She has about 800,000 residents. She has a great relationship with her city council. She has a great relationship with her business owners. And you're talking about money. 2018, she was able to leverage up to $100 million for her city. What she did, she had $50,000 in grants, and then she had another 50,000 that came from the residents and from the business owners. So definitely, we want to come together. And once again, how do we remain transparent? Have an audit. I wouldn't mind having an audit every 3 months. and have a public audit so that you all could come and look at how we're spending and actually have a committee together so that we could, right now, moving forward, I am putting together a financial economic committee team so that we can bridge those gaps with the business owners, with the residents, and actually making sure that we're on the right page with everything. So that is so important. And lastly, once again, we want to even have an audit. I would be open to an audit every 3 months so that we could remain transparent. Thank you so much. That's a great question.
And it looks like Mildred James in District 6 said, if elected, what 3 steps would you take to put our city on a firmer financial footing?
Okay, so let me just say this too. Can I say what I'm doing now? What I'm doing now, and I'll at the end kind of give you my platform. I'm
Sure, you
Yeah.
also
can talk about both.
Oh, okay, good. Just a little bit about myself, really quickly, because I want to stay on schedule. And once again, thank you. Everything is going
Mhm.
well. So, just a little bit about myself, and because finance is coming up. Once again, far as my education, I have a bachelor's degree, master's degree, and I'm going to get a PhD. I love statistical data. I'm kind of one of those little nerdy ladies, kind of like. And I'm also a grant writer, and I have already submitted almost 500 pages of grants. So let me just show you guys this, what I've been doing. And I'm so excited. There's a lot of funding available for municipalities and actually for the federal government. And let me explain to you how funding goes. For example, the federal government, which is Washington, they are in charge of funding in the United States of America. And then that funding goes to the state, which our state is Michigan. And then as Michigan get the funding, it goes to different counties and it goes to different cities. So we're in Oakland County, so Oakland County gives us funding that the federal government once again gives to the state of Michigan. The state of Michigan basically gives it to Oakland County, and then Oakland County passes it out to us. Now in Washington D.C. right now there's about $30 million for municipalities. And I say I'm a grant writer. Last week I was on the phone with Washington D.C. and I'm going to show you this real quick. I have a little visual to show with you. This right here, Washington D.C. Let's see. I'll put it right here. I was on the phone with them for grants. And really quickly, these are some of the grant opportunities that I was able to get information on as it relates to the city of Pontiac. And there's a lot of grant opportunities. There's opportunities for funding and grants as it relates to housing. There's opportunities and grants for workforce development. There's all types of opportunities. So, for example, these grants right here, I'm showing you this right here, they're about 20 something pages long. And what I do, I go over it, I read the 20 pages first, and then I go ahead on and get all the information in. So, this particular grant that was written right here, it happened to be for human trafficking. And we want to stop that because we are on the border of Michigan and we get a lot of that. Also, the second grant here that was written and it was submitted to the federal government was here, right here. Here's another one. And this one is about 30 pages long. And this one has to do with transitional homes, meaning that we got a lot of land in Pontiac and we want to make sure we build those homes. So as it relates to funding, we want to continue to apply for funding. In addition, we could forge relationships with the business owners and see how much funding they would mind giving to the city of Pontiac. In addition to that, with the state getting funds from the federal government, from Oakland County, we could get funding that way. My goal with the city of Pontiac, we could go up to on the low end $100 million. $100 million, we could do a lot with that. And then we also have billionaires that are interested in investing in the city. And once again, we have those relationships where we're getting an audit, a public audit. I would love to basically have my economic development team come on board and get relationships with the business owners, with the residents, and with everyone. But what I'll be doing on my part, I will definitely be getting together with that grant writing proposal team. So right now we could get that $30 million that's available to municipalities. And one thing that I want to do too, I'm just gonna move forward a little bit, putting my schedule together for 2022. I'm already putting my schedule together as I am mayor of your city of Pontiac. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I want to be in the public, talking to the residents, seeing how everything is going. On Tuesday, I would like to be in Lansing, talking to the people in Lansing on behalf of the city of Pontiac. And on Thursday, maybe twice a month, I would like to fly to Washington, D.C., because in order to get a lot of funding for the cities, someone has to represent your city. And Washington, D.C. is it, and then I have a little picture here, and naturally, I would love to see Mrs. Camilla once I go to Washington, D.C. too. So those are some things that we want to do to build those relationships to get more funding. And on the low end, our funding goal would be $100 million. Now we could go higher than that. Also.
Okay. So you've talked a lot about building relationships, and for the city of Pontiac, the most important relationship right now is between the mayor and council. We've had years of dissension, of lack of teamwork. So, what would be your plan to work effectively with council?
Thank you so much. That is a great question. What has to happen first of all? I've been down to the city council meetings, and I've talked to business owners that watch the city council meetings on YouTube on Facebook. It is very sad to see the disrespect on both sides of the fence. There's no unity. It seems like there's a lot of proposals that get pushed under the rug, and it gets adjourned to next time and nothing happens. So therefore our city is in this constant stagnation movement. So what I'll do, my first 100 days in office 2022, I will sit down with my new city council and we'll have a meeting. And the first thing on our agenda, once again, I'm going back to scripture, we're going to have to operate in peace. We're going to have to operate in love. We're going to have to operate in thoughtfulness, kindness, gentleness, and self respect. And how we're going to do that, respect is going to be the main thing. We may not agree on everything, but we're going to have to agree to disagree and continue to move this forward to city forward. Now, for example, I'm one of those people that you in this world you can have the balance. You can't be meek as a dove all the time, because why? People will run over you. You cannot walk around being fierce as a lion. Why? Because you're going to run people away. We're going to have balance. So there's going to be times where that meekness is going to come out, where we're just going to have to work together. And there's going to be times where the fears come out. But at the end of the day, everyone, a politician works for the people. It's the people that vote the politician in. And actually, we have to realize, as we're looking at people, vote for the person that is a reflection of yourself. Be the ascension of what you would want to see. Be the best person that you would want to be. And as you are the best person you would want to be, it's going to reflect in the city council. It's going to reflect in the government. So therefore, there's going to have to be things as an individual we have to get together. But the main thing is respect. We cannot come in hollering and screaming at each other. That's out of order. I've spoken to so many business owners, and they look at that and they shake their head. They refuse to do any business with Pontiac, with the administration the way it is. So we have to get new mayor. We have to get new city council in order to move the city forward. And it brings back the professionalism. And at the end of the day, it brings back love. And if I have a problem with one of my coworkers or members, we pull each other's coattail. Remember that? Pull the coattail over to the side and we talk about it. But we don't holler and scream. And one last thing I want to add to that, just like a relationship in a family. Basically, if you have problems with the mom and the dad and brothers and sisters, you take care of that problem in house. You don't go to the street with that problem. So therefore, you have to take care of the problems in house, even if you don't agree on everything. When we're together, we need to agree. And once again, the mayor over in Carolina, she has a great relationship with her city council. She has a great relationship with the business owners. She have a great relationship with the residents, and that's why they are $100 million strong. And I want to get that. Also, what I'm doing too, I'm going to personally be setting up meetings. Right now, there's 9 young ladies that are new mayors, and we got the mayor over in D.C. We got one in Baltimore, Maryland. We have here in East Point a new mayor. We have Harper Woods. So I want to form relationships with those ladies, and we could form support groups so that we could be professional. But at the end of the day, we have to move the city forward. How do we move the city forward? We got to be on one accord. We got to be on one accord, and we have to be professional. Thank you so much for that. And we will work on that, I guarantee, 2022. Thank you.
So, speaking of the city council, we have a question from Yvette in District 5 states, how do you plan to help the library board to bring the library of Pontiac Library back up to date?
Once again, it's all about building those relationships. We have to, what I'm learning too, everyone has a decision, everyone has a concern. So instead of once again bickering with someone, we have to see what the concern is. So my first 100 days in office as mayor 2022, I will have a meeting with the library board. We're going to sit down and we talk about our concerns and see how can we forge those relationships. I also would like to get residents involved with the library board to see how can we build and see what the residents want to do. Also the children, let's not forget about them. Sometimes we need to talk to the children just to see what we would like to do. The other day, yesterday, I was over at the Rochester Library, which is very beautiful. You go to the Southfield Library, which is very beautiful. So I think for sure we got to really clean up the library a little bit, maybe do a little paint work, update it. I do love we have a room where we can have meetings, maybe do a meet and greet, maybe start doing once a week, have something where we're talking and we're eating because food offers love. And basically, food basically, we have a potluck, for example, and we have that and we talk, but we're going to have to sit down, hash out those concerns with respect. And basically bring it to the table and form committees. Once again, we could have a committee where the young people have concerns. We have a committee for the mothers and the fathers, even the seniors committee, even the veterans committee. We bring everyone together under one umbrella, and that's what we do. And that's how we're going to move the city forward, being professional and actually talking together and get rid of those concerns. Because at the end of the day, we love Pontiac. We have a heart. And sometimes if someone's bickering, it's because they have passion, and that passion can turn another route. We want that passion to be positive for the people in the city of Pontiac. So I got PPP, passion, people, and positivity. Thank you so much, and I appreciate it.
Did you have a follow up question, Ariel?
Oh, just to follow up on that, what are you going to do about the homeless community inside of the library?
Yes,
How can we bring safety back to the Pontiac Library so that our seniors and our children feel safe?
Ariel, that's a good question. And remember how we talked about in the beginning, homeless. We talked about renovating some of those abandoned buildings. And one thing I want to do, just okay, let's put everyone involved. We got three hospitals here. We have St. John's, correct? We have St. Joseph. We have the Pontiac General, and we have McLaren. Right now, they have a lot of room in those hospitals. Why couldn't we? And maybe my first 100 days in office, I could say, you know what? Can you house some of the homeless people? Once again, there's about 100, so that we could definitely make sure they're safe. A lot of them need bathing. A lot of them need testing. A lot of them would just love to get something to eat. And then we got to deal with the mental health. Once again, a lot of the homeless people that I spoke to before I give anyone any funding, I try to talk to the homeless people and see what's happening. For example, there's two girls. There's a young girl now. She's up there at Telegraph. As I spoke to her, she said that she's just trying to prevent from being homeless, and she's out there with her sign to feed her two children. I spoke to another young lady today that was on Walton Street near Baldwin. She said that her and her husband right now they're sleeping in their car because they're waiting for some funding to come in. There's two gentlemen on the Woodward Loop. One of them is in a wheelchair. He said that he's sleeping inside of a abandoned building right now. And then another gentleman that's right there, I think his name is John, as you go to the Woodward Loop, he said that he just had a bad marriage and child support. And then you got Marie Francis. I speak to her and try to go see her once a week. She's actually sleeping under the Phoenix building, which is shouldn't happen at all. And she said that she's in the military and she's kind of waiting for her family to come through. So as it relates to the homeless, The thing about it, they're people. Now we have animals. I adopt my pets from the shelter. My animals live well. So therefore, as human beings, we have to have a heart for people and make sure they're housed. It's been cold, right? As you guys know, the past couple of days, it's been cold outside. And sometimes I think about how will it feel just to be homeless out there all day and all night. Now, let me just tell you one thing. This gentleman, he was telling me how it felt to be homeless, and now he's just moved into apartment. He said when it's homeless, you go to sleep at night, and especially when it's cold. He said your body lays down on that cold cement, and after a while, it warms it up. But he said when you wake up, you're cold, you're sweaty, and it makes it even worse. So can you imagine being in that state all the time, not knowing where you're going to get your next meal, not being able to take care of yourself, not being able to wash your face, brush your teeth? That's not a good feeling. So we have to be compassionate. So my first 100 days in office as mayor, Wanda Denise 2022, we're going to make sure that we take care of the homeless. And in addition to that, we have a lot of homes that could be renovated, and then maybe too there could be people that are experienced with mental health issues, that could say, you know what, maybe I could get funding from the state of Michigan, and I could open up my home to a homeless person with proper safety measures, COVID measures, and proper mental health, because once again, a lot of times it's mental health that needs to happen, the reason why a person is homeless. And guess what, you could go to any state, there's doctors, there's lawyers, there's people that were professional that had families that have been homeless and that are homeless now. So that is the population that we have to know, that we address, we get them situated. And the quick fix could be me talking to the hospitals and seeing can they house them for at least maybe 30 to 40 days, or maybe I would just say 45 days, while we work on some construction measures for the homeless population. Thank you so much. That was indeed a great question.
Okay, so we have two major hot button issues within the city of Pontiac right now. One being the renewal of the contract with the fire department, and the second being the youth recreation millage. So the public wants to know what's your stance points on both those issues.
Okay, so let's talk about the youth millage because that's near and dear to my heart. I do understand the $900,000 bond, and let me just backtrack. Part of my coming to become mayor in January, I went out personally. I'm a person that basically I was the candidate on my all my petitions, and the circulator on all my petitions. And here they go right here. And the reason why I'm bringing that up, just to prove to you, yes, this is true. I spoke to over 300 residents in the city of Pontiac during COVID outside, because I circulated all of my own petitions and was the first candidate on the list March 23rd of this year. And basically, in talking to those 300 residents, COVID safe, boots on the ground, everyone said the same thing. Everyone is concerned about the youth. What can we do about the youth? Now, what can we do about the youth? We need mentorship programs for the males. We need mentorship programs for the females, and actually recreation. I'm not 100% in agreement on the amount of money that was paid in that recreation. Someone said it was at least $35,000 a month. That's a whole lot of money. We have a lot of buildings here and a lot of parks that could be renovated for the youth, and basically get them together. We have the summertime is coming. We're still in COVID. So why can't right now all the parks that we have? Last week I was out at the park and we were clean up the parks and have camps. What about summer camps for those children? And also we're in the state of Michigan. Why couldn't we even renovate a bus and let the children go away up north for a while, for maybe 3 months? So there's a lot of things that we could do for the youth that's very creative, but we come together, we build a team. And then why can't we have that committee where we actually ask the youth what they want? Because it's okay, me as your mayor, I could say one thing, the city council could say another, and the residents could say something else, and the parents. But at the end of the day, I like talking to, like they say, go to the horse's mouth. I like talking to the youth. Let's see what they want. And now, a lot of things that I do here, and my compassion as I talk to over 300 people, everyone said the same thing. I always ask them, what are some things that you would like to see? The number one thing for 300 people, they all said youth. And a lot of people said they poured their heart out to me. They said when I was younger, there was the Ewald Center, there was this, there was that. And they were really concerned because a lot of those programs are not here. We shouldn't have to go to Rochester. We shouldn't have to go to Auburn Hills to have recreation for our children. We should have it here. So right now, what we could do right now, because COVID is still, we're still in a pandemic, we got to be safe. We could continuously clean up those parks and let those children have summer camps right outside at those parks. That doesn't cost anything. And basically, we get a committee together and see what is the best form of spending for the children, and maybe open up some of those centers because we got a lot of abandoned buildings still that could be reopened for the centers for children. And that's what we could do. Let's be smart about it. And once again, let the children go to camp. Even if they just go to Traverse City, anywhere, just out of the city and do something great. So that's something I would do, and forming a committee of parents and parents and children and the residents to see how can we better serve the children.
Okay,
Okay,
in terms
in
of the
terms of the
fire
fire
department
department
portion?
portion?
Okay, so once again, I've spoken to the fire, a gentleman at the fire department. I understand that's under contract. Everything is negotiable. So my first 100 days in office, I would basically talk to the fire department to see what can we negotiate and see what would be the best deal to be on the table. Basically, the fire department is very important. So is the EMS. So is the sheriff department. And I know those are, especially the sheriff, we're under contract with that. So those contracts need to be renegotiated. And that's something we could get together in proper planning and basically seeing what is best for the residents. What's the safest thing for the residents? And how many more jobs can we create in those entities? And those would be some things that we could sit down my first 100 days in office, talk to the municipal, talk to those different offices and see how we move that effectively with good communication and talking together as one. And once again, forming a committee, just let the residents see what get feedback. That's what I hear, feedback from the residents also as it relates to those matters. Thank you so much. That is a great question.
So I thought this question was very important. It is from Sarah in District 5. She says, instead of Pontiac being known for all of the good in Pontiac, we are usually known for the crime. Says, what methods are you going to use to combat recent crime and former crime?
That's a great question, and my heart goes out. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my background too. I spent time in all counties. I spent time in Wayne County. I spent time in Macomb County, and spent time in Oakland County because the counties have to come together. I have good friends, Vonda and Wanda Evans. Basically, they're judges over at 36th District Court, and we all worked in probation department before. So the crime is something near and dear to me. I'm also a mom, and basically, I have a son that's born in 1994. I have a daughter that's born in 1987. So therefore, and we adopted my little one. She's in 2009. So it's so important. Basically, building those bridges. Once again, I am talking to, and I've been meeting with. There's a sheriff, and he's back actually from the city of Pontiac. Seven, and we're working together to force those relationships. How do you force those relationships? You could have an apprenticeship program. You could basically allow the ages of to me young men. That's what I'm concerned about, ages 21 to 35, with the profiling. That has to stop, for example. And then, but we get them engaged. We let them know, if you don't have a record, why can't you become a sheriff? Why can't you become a public officer? And because now you could identify with the citizens. And I would say boots. I'm a boots on the ground person. People know that they met me, and I talk to them. Get those sheriffs out of their cars. Go back to the old school time where people used to walk. If you're walking your community and talking to the residents, it's gonna get better. So that's something that we got to do. We got to get boots on the ground. My first 100 days in office as mayor, 2022. I'm going to have a meeting with the sheriff department as I'm doing now and let them know we want you on the ground. We want you talking to the residents. And also, I would like to have so even if we get the young people
I
ages
think
21
I
to
think you
35
froze.
at the parks and come together. Yes, I hear you. Can you? Yes,
You
and
froze, so you may want to just repeat what you stated before.
oh, okay.
About the last 10 seconds.
Yes.
I think once again, boots on the ground. Basically, the sheriff department, let them get out the car. See, that's the problem. If the sheriffs, if United States of America, let me just say this: united we stand, united we fall. We have to come together. So basically, if the sheriffs would just get out of their cars and start talking to the residents, then you build that relationship. And even for the young men, 21 to 35, we could get apprenticeships programs together. We could get programs together so that they can become a sheriff themselves. And once they could identify and you build, and it comes back to love. Let me just say this to you. In the world, we need more love. If we had love, we wouldn't even have to have this. We wouldn't have to have this conversation about profiling. If we had love, there would be no division in city council. If we had love, more love, there would be no divorce. There would be no juvenile justice system. So we got to get back to the heart of love. And how do we get back to the heart of love? Coming together. United we stand, united we fall. So that's what we do. We come together and we build those relationships. We educate, and we have programs because, say for example, one thing that I would do from 12 a.m. until 3 a.m. That's when a lot of crime is being committed. That's statistical data, and we have people out walking, and even that group of 21 to 35, train them and say you're out and about, because a lot of time the crimes are being committed, everybody know each other, so therefore we could say, hey man, don't do that. We want to make sure that we're going to be okay. And also I would like to have memorials, because what happens, especially in I would just say in a lot of cities, people pass. We lost 4 lives last year, and I don't want to get into that just to remain sensitive to the families, but we need memorials. When people pass and in the city, especially to crime, we need to remember them. There's a young man, and I believe his name is Curtis. I think that's his last name. He does the paintings, the murals throughout the city of Pontiac. Why couldn't we ever have a mural or something to remember those that had lost their lives? And as we remember, we could do better. Once again, get a committee together, a committee with young men and young ladies, actually between the ages of 21 to 35, and see what they want. Sometimes we just got to talk to people. It's okay for myself as a political figure and all the sheriffs and everyone else to make decisions. But once again, you got to talk to the people. What do you want? How can you make things better? But we want to have memorials, and we want to make sure that the crime is being reduced. We don't want the crime to go up. And then let me say this to you. And we want to make my goal the first 100 days in office is to get with my economic development team, and we want to make Pontiac to become a destination station. We want it to become destination. And spiritually, this is what the Heavenly Father told me. He said, in the city of Pontiac, you set a foundation for duplication for the nation. Let me say that again. We want to set a foundation for duplication for the nation, meaning that we set a, a solid foundation, and it could be duplicated. And there's so many things that we could do. In the end, I want to talk about also some of the jobs and opportunities. And I do have some hotline numbers that I could give to the people. But thank you so much. That was a great question. And let's continue. Thank you.
Okay. Unless a pending miracle happens, the new mayor will be forced with the issue of the Pontiac Phoenix Center. What is your standpoint on its current status and how you would look at moving forward with it?
That's a great question, and thank you so much. I've been so blessed here in the city of Pontiac to talk to the people that are $30 million strong, to talk to the residents, and to deal with the homeless people. 2 weeks ago, I spoke to Lauren. He's one of the gentlemen with the Phoenix Center and Michael, and we have the Phoenix Center issue and we have the garage. Those are two issues there. So, what has to happen? They have had heart to heart talks with me. They have concerns, and that's their concern and that's their heart. as I develop my economic development business team, which would be from business owners from the city of Pontiac local. Putting that team together now. We sit down with those gentlemen and actually we have a heart to heart. That's what's going to happen because they're passionate about the garage. And one thing that they're passionate about, because they own a lot of buildings here and they want their residents to have parking. They're passionate about the towers. And basically, we bring that passion and the concerns to the table and we build those relationships. Business economic development team with with owners from the city of Pontiac that have a heart and soul for the city of Pontiac. We build those relationships, and that's how that miracle is going to happen. It's going to happen because both sides of the fence is passion. And sometimes when people are fighting and arguing with each other, just for example, with a married couple, they love each other, but the passion brings out, situations. And the same situation here is the passion. So how do we put the owners of those two entities together and the business economic development team? We got to marry it. But what we have to do, first of all, we got to sit down at the table. And that's something that we're going to do my first 100 years, excuse me, I don't say 100 years, my first 100 days in office. And I'm getting that. And listen, I'm ready to do it. Let me say this to y'all too. It's going to take more than 4 years to get the city of Pontiac back in order. So it's going to take 4 years of me talking and getting things situated. Then it's going to take another 4 years of me getting all the funding and grant. That's where that $100 million is going to come in. And then it's going to take another 4 years of me actually sitting back and actually saying, okay, the city is back in order. So once again, we're setting a foundation. How long is the foundation? Foundation is about 12 years. A foundation for duplication for the nation. And that's how long it's going to take the city to really, really get back in order. First 4 years, getting out all the information, making sure the concerns, and making sure we're building those strong relationships. The next 4 years, those people that I know that are 30, $40 million billionaires, they're going to start investing in the city. And the next 4 years, we all going to be able to sit back and say, woo, here we go. We got through it. And here it is. So that's what I would like to do. And that is a great question. Building the relationships, building those community development, and also making sure that we're sitting at the table because they both are passionate. They both have concerns. And that's something that we could do. And once again, my team, my business economic development team, I'm putting it together now. And they are residents, business owners, very professional from the city of Pontiac. Thank you so much. That is a great question.
So it looks like we have a question from the live stream. It is coming from Tiffany Diana. It states, it's important the mayor not only loves Pontiac, but understands Pontiac from the inside out. And what better way to do that than by living in the city? So are you a Pontiac resident?
Let me say this to you. Thank you, Tiffany. That is a great question. I live, I work, I patronize Pontiac. So look at my outfit. This outfit I have on now actually is from a young lady. Colors Are Us. Her business is on Saginaw Street. She actually, and I told her as I become mayor, I'm going to let her dress me on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday and do my hair and makeup. So I patronize her. My nails, they need to be done, everybody. I just met with the young lady at the nails, at Lux Nails. She's going to be doing my nails. This piece right here was a gift from a resident in the city of Pontiac. So I make sure I do that. So yes, I love the city of Pontiac. I love it. I love it. I love it. I work in Pontiac. Actually, where I live is downtown Pontiac. So I like to walk. So from my loft, I walk down to my business. So not only do I have a loft in downtown Pontiac, my business location that I have is downtown Pontiac, and I breathe. And let me say this to you, I'm a pampered woman. I don't like driving, everyone. So therefore, you can't really get me out of Pontiac unless you just drive. And like I said, as I go to the airport, I fly out of the Flint airport. And my as I become mayor, I am going to get me a driver because I don't like to drive. And everything I do is in this little city of Pontiac Circle. And I'm a walker too. There's been people saying, "What are you doing walking. I didn't walk down Baldwin Street, everyone. I have walked from Orchard Lake because I like to exercise and everything. So I love the city, and it's a circle, and that's good for me. And I don't like to be out after dark, everyone. So therefore, I try to do everything I need to do. So yes, it's important to live in Pontiac. And let me tell you some of the most beautiful areas. All of it is beautiful. The Seminole Hills, the Indian Village. We got the Galloway. We have a lot of nice areas. And actually, my goal is to make the entire city beautiful. With that $100 million, we could do a lot in patronizing. And as we patronize, I would like to see more business owners come in the downtown area of the city of Pontiac. So that's something I have an ideal, and I want to address that also. So I live, breathe, and sleep Pontiac. I'm not going nowhere. You have to drag me out. Yes, that's a great question. Any more questions?
Yeah. So as we stand here, we have seven candidates, and I think it's important that we get a chance to ask each candidate, what is your reason why? Why now, and why are you running?
Yes. My heart, and can I just let me just tell you this truth here. And is it okay if I get a little spiritual on you?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my journey, and I'm just being totally honest with you. And actually, it started 2016, but the significance came to me 2000. And let me get something to drink real quick. I have my water, and I just want to drink my water. And thank you so much. We're doing a great job. So I want to tell you this true story. This is what happened to me in 2000. And so my journey started as mayor 2016. 2018, and I'm going to go back to 2016, but 2018, I'm a woman. Health and wellness is so important to me, and I do a lot of praying and fasting spiritually. So, as I was doing a 7 day prayer and fast, at the end of that 7 day fast, 2018, that voice from my Heavenly Father said, that's what you're going to do, Wanda Denise. You're going to run for mayor. Not only did it say that you're going to run for mayor, that's what you were put on this earth to do. That is why you are here in this city of Pontiac. So that hit me like a rock. So as we look in the Bible, there the Heavenly Father always back it up. With Noah, he backed it up with a rainbow. So as I'm looking out of my second floor loft, I look out the window and there's a rainbow. A rainbow comes from my loft all the way down to the city building. And I just wept like a baby. So after that, 7 whole days, I was down at the city, and everywhere I went, city official was at. Everywhere I went, city official was at. And then to back it up, from there, I had not one, not two, but three prophetic word come to my life and say, Wanda Denise, you are to do this. You're going to be the next mayor in the city of Pontiac. So it hit me. It hit me like a rock. So here it is, 2018. 2019, and I'm going to go over my agenda. I've done so much in working in the city of Pontiac. And let me just see, and then I'm going to bring you guys up to speed. And let me just say this to you. So actually in 2016, and once again, it started, my journey as mayor started 2016. I worked with Pontiac Academy of Excellence. I had over 200 children enrolled in our science, technology, engineer, arts, and math and music program to the point, and I'm going to say, Kiki, y'all, if y'all watching, we had actually ran summer programs and we had to walk the children home in the summer. They was with us from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. And we just said, Kiki, y'all got to go home. And we walked them home. And actually, and another thing to tell about my personality, if you guys want to know, how many adults do children invite them to their prom and their graduation? So Pontiac Academy of Excellence, I was invited to their prom, which was on the Princess Boat, which is absolutely beautiful. And I think that was one of the nicest and the last prom that they had. Also, I attended their graduation at the soccer arena. And then in 2016, so that was what I did with the students. And we had a great relationship with the parents. When we did events, I heard that we had the most turnout. We had over 200 parents attend, and they said that was the most for the events that we did. And actually, in 2016, I started doing meetings with adults to talk about networking and empowerment and improvement. And basically, in 2017, we did meetings at the Lafayette Marketplace. In 2017, also, I did a 3 day Black History event with the city of Pontiac. And also, we did events in 2017 at the Vogue where we had over 100 residents come there. In 2018, in the city of Pontiac, I worked and I was program director and educator. In 2018, I was part of membership of the Pontiac Art Crawl, which I believe the first year they had about 3,000 people attend. And then 2019, committee member for the Pontiac Art Crawl when they had about 6,000 people attend. Another thing I did in the city of Pontiac as my journey started, 2019, I personally want to not 10, not 10 or 5, 30 businesses. We have a lot of businesses in the city of Pontiac up there, Updike, and basically their headquarters, and they're strong. For example, next tier. What I did, I'm going to show you this too. I got folders together on behalf of the city of Pontiac, and I told them what we were all about so that they could invest in the city of Pontiac. And I talked to those 30 businesses, and I let them know what we're going to be doing in the city of Pontiac. Now, what I did too, I did go back up there this year because COVID hit in 2020, and actually a lot of people are working from home. Actually, in 2019, also we had the Pontiac Tribe Facebook. 2019, I was personally out cleaning up the trash in Pontiac. This year, 2021, I also did the same thing up there at Perry Street. The parking lot. There's a lot of bottles and glass because I guess they're having more events up there. So I've been up there cleaning up glass in actually March and in April of this year. I did the Pontiac Parade, which was 2019, which was really beautiful. And also 2020, I started a program for women for the city of Pontiac where we do enrichment, empowerment, and basically and basically enhancement for women. 2020, helping seniors and singles and veterans. 2021, I have my program now, the Pontiac Tribe, excuse me, the Wanda Denise Show, which is on Facebook. And basically 2021, feeding the homeless. And also 2021, I have a project that I'm working on that's going to happen in September. Also, I've been collaborating with M1 because I know the Motor Bella, they're going to be doing the auto show. So I did let them know if they need my help, I could get on the committee for that. And then moving forward, also as mayor, 2021, once again, I went down to the city of at Pontiac and I said, "Hey, I'm ready." In January, I'm ready to do this mayor campaign. She said, "What you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to go out and you're gonna have to talk to the people." So she handed me those petitions. January 23rd, boots on the ground. I was out there in the cold, in COVID, talking to people, speaking to over 300 residents in the city of Pontiac. And then once again, my paperwork is within. I was the first candidate March 23rd to turn in all my paperwork that I was the circulator and the candidate on the petitions. And that lets you see the heart because a lot of petitions don't go, a lot of politicians, they don't go out and circulate their own signatures. They just don't. They have a team to do it. So not only was I the circulator and the candidate, so my heart for the city of Pontiac is there, and I've been there. I have already passed out over a couple thousand flyers, which you guys see, out. You see that out here in the city of Pontiac. And one of the pictures that I took on one of my flyers here, I took it over here at this was the first set of flyers that I did. And I took it over at the park. I was over at the park over the city of Pontiac, and that's why I used that. So my heart, my spirit, everything is here in the city of Pontiac. So I'm one of those ladies. People have been meeting me. This gentleman told me today as he met me, he said, "You are my hero." And that really almost made me cry. So it's been really nice to talk to the people. I was meeting with the seniors today. I have a great, amazing relationship with the children and everyone in between. So you got to have someone that's gonna be transparent, that's gonna talk to the people. I want you guys to put me on your schedule on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on at 2022. to come to your events, to be a part of what you're doing. I want you guys to see me. Once again, I'm already setting up my wardrobe and all my makeup with the local business owners here, and I want to be a visible. I don't want to be the type of mayor that you don't even know who the mayor is and you don't see that mayor. I want to be visible. I want to have that great relationship with the people because you all voted me, will vote me in office. So therefore, I might as well have a great relationship with you all. I want to have a great relationship with the business owners and actually with the spiritual leaders too. And one thing I told the spiritual leaders today, we need prayer. Why couldn't we just do the Daniel prayer? 5 a.m. prayer, noon prayer, 5 p.m. prayer. That's going to help and bringing unity in the community. One thing I also want to say too, relationships, power couples. I want to encourage marriage in the city because there's a lot of love here. There's a lot of families, and I want to give incentives to married couples to stay married, to probably do marital retreats and everything, and to become entrepreneurs together. I stopped over there at the company called Polish off of what is it, Perry Street and Glenwood. There's a couple there, and they're running that company together. That's so important. So we want to encourage because the word says one could do 1,000, but two could do 10,000. So we want to encourage power in the city of Pontiac, and that's why my passion is there. And one thing that I want to do really quickly as our mayor, we want to do the workforce development. We want to do the 3D design and innovation. We want to continue with the science, technology, engineer, arts, math, and music programs. We want to build. Yesterday, at 11 p.m., I had one of my gentlemen call me because we're working on a building project for 30 new homes, 3 bedroom, 3 bath, living room, dining room, family room, and also car program. I was over there at the Volunteers of America. We want people to have great cars here in the city of Pontiac. And speaking of cars, there's as I go to Lansing, we want to get cheaper insurance rates here in the city of Pontiac, so everybody can have affordable insurance. And also, I was on the phone last week with some Washington officials with the new administration. The Affordable Health Care Act is making sure that everyone have affordable health care in the world. They have different programs: the bronze program, the silver program, the platinum program, and they're very affordable. And also with the seniors and the veterans, my dad was a veteran. He was in the Vietnam War. I was also raised by my grandmother, so my heart for seniors and veterans is there. And also, like I said, the singles and the families coming together, the wellness, fitness, and health and youth. We talked about that and recreation, making sure the city is safe. So that's my platform, and I named one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 things. And I'll say it one more time as mayor: workforce development, 3D design. I have a gentleman; he's a professor. He does 3D design and innovation, and we want to train people. Something that we want to train: soft skills, resume writing skills, interview skills. Those are things that people need, and social responsibility, media skills. So as you get the job, and I have a gentleman on my team that I'm working with that's also, not only will we train people with workforce development, he's going out talking to the employer. So we putting that marriage together. We'll train the individuals, and then they'll go in and get that job. And at the end, I do have some job opportunities and some telephone numbers. I want you guys to stay tuned because the pay is $15 to $20 an hour. Another thing that I've been doing too, recently talking to Amazon, there are some opportunities available for Amazon. And with Amazon, there's about 75 to 100 jobs available with Amazon. And also with United Sure, we know that. I know there's a lot of people born and raised in the city of Pontiac that work for United Sure, actually a great company. So those are some things that we want to do: the education, housing, the seniors, the families, the wellness and fitness, and crime reduction. That's my
Okay, we got about three more questions. We
okay.
got
Go
about
ahead.
three more questions that just came across, and we want to give
Thank
you a chance to answer them before we close out.
thank you.
First came from Sean Preston. How do you feel about transportation options currently available in the city of Pontiac? Do we have enough options? And if not, what will you do to help increase those options?
Yeah, transportation, and I spend, like I said, I spend a lot of time walking. I do. I watch, and I'm one of those people. I'm very observant, so I sit and watch. You know, you had the bus stop over there near the Phoenix Center, and those buses, to be honest with you, they run pretty timely. I have time, and I've watched people actually go to the bus. And let me backtrack. I've caught the bus myself because last summer I decided that I turned in my lease of my car early, and I was actually catching the bus and walking myself. So I would say timing, the bus, that smart bus system, they are they're very efficient. And I actually saw people walk across that parking lot, and they looking at their clock, and that bus is coming. So yes, we could always use, Mr. Preston. We could always use more transportation, and even let me just take something forward. Why couldn't we have transportation where we're picking up more seniors so they could go to the grocery store together? Maybe have transportation where we're doing things with couples. There's so many charter bus programs that we could get together. Once again, I have a gentleman that owns a charter company, a bus company. Transportation, we could hire to take those kids up to a camp sometime up north. You know, we don't have to go far, or we could do a Black College tour. There's a lot of things that we could do with transportation. But right now, what I saw for my own self, the smart bus system, they run pretty well. And yes, we could do more. And then what we could do, let's get our own private transportation together. There's people that own transportation companies. That could be an entrepreneur opportunity where we're picking up people, taking them to the grocery store. You know how when daylight saving time come, I see a lot of people standing at the bus stop. There should be, handicap. That's something that we haven't addressed either. There should be a bus just for people with disability, so they won't have to stand out at the bus stop. You know, we could pick them up and take them home, especially if they have vision problems. And you know how when we have daylight savings time, it changes at 7 p.m. and 7 in the morning, and it gets dark. So yes, that's a great question.
So this one is also from the live stream. It says it comes from Darcy M. There's a new leader over Oakland County. How would you foster a good relationship with him to make sure Pontiac is not left behind in funding and programs?
Hey, Darcy, how are you? She knows me. You know what? Let me say this to you. Let me tell you what I have done already. Once again, let's backtrack really quickly. The funding from the federal government, that we get it from Washington D.C. Then it comes to the state of Michigan. Then the state of Michigan divvies it from the Oakland County. So there's a lot of recipients of grants, which is the free money, and that's something that we could do. We could help people with business plans, with federal tax ID number, getting them with funding. Right now, there's a funding opportunity for business owners where you can get up to $10,000, 2.75 interest rate, 30 years to pay it back. So what I've done on behalf of the citizens of Pontiac, as we have gotten grants, I personally delivered a thank you bouquet of flowers to the executive office to say, on behalf of the citizens of the city of Pontiac, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be participants and have the opportunity for grants. So, yes, I'm down at the Oakland County a lot because right now we have land that we're developing, and we got to build those relationships with Oakland County. I was at the county address in 2019 at United Shore, and got pictures with Mr. Patterson. So basically, you got to build the relationships. People have concerns and the passion. Sometimes that passion comes out as negative, but we got to have passion for the people, for positivity, and that's something that I'll do. My first 100 days in office as your mayor, Wanda Denise, City of Pontiac, and I would definitely have a meeting with the executives and see what we could do. Also, there's a lot of grants available in Oakland County for housing, and grants for fixing up the homes. That's something that we want to do too. And the application is a little maybe 10 pages, but we get a committee together so that we could paint the houses. We could get some of the roof repaired. We could definitely also get the grass cut so that we could really get the city back in order and do some cleanup. But once again, we got to have that great relationship with Oakland County, because when the money comes in from the state of Michigan, it goes to the county first, and then the counties, they divvy that money to the states and municipalities. Yes, and I'll continue to write grants and have those relationships. That's a great answer. Thank you so much.
Okay, we have Goodman. How would you solve the city's affordable housing crisis without opening the door to gentrification?
Yes. Now, let me tell you what we're doing now. And thank you. That was a great answer. Last night, I got a phone call from one of my team members. Currently, we have 30 pieces of land that we're going to be developing. And that 30 pieces of land, that means that's 30 new homes. 3 bedroom, 3 bath, living room, dining room, family room. And listen, we get a count with that Volunteers of America. I wouldn't mind putting a nice little car in the driveway too with a bow on it. So with that, we want to build. And let me tell you this, I have a team of people right now. It's 5 people, and they're talking about moving to the city of Pontiac. My team is saying, as you become mayor, Wanda Denise, we're going to move to the city of Pontiac, and we want to purchase homes. Now, the city of Pontiac, I believe a couple years ago, there was 22 or $23 million that was given to for housing as it relates to new home buyers, meaning that you didn't have to pay any closing costs. So, for example, we want to do that. And I thought about, even someone had a question about some of the slumlords. For example, we got to talk to them, see what happened, what's going on, and would you mind doing a land contract, or can we do something with, at least with an option to buy, so that we could build equity in the home. So the goal is to become homeowners. Homeowners build the city. Homeowners build the tax base. And a lot of people been renting, for 10, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. That rent should turn to, at least with an option to buy, with equity put inside of it. So therefore, we build the city, we make it beautiful, and basically we build our property value. And we don't want to push people out the city. I'm having people come to the city with brand new homes. Once again, 3 bedroom, 3 baths, living room, dining room, family room, and that's going to be great. That's 30 new families, 30 new homes that will be built in the city of Pontiac. We're excited about that, and we want to keep the program going.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, Wanda, we want to thank you for coming on today. We also want to give you time to give some closing remarks before we close it out.
Okay, so can I do something different and remember both?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your closing time.
Okay, this is what I've been sitting on the fence on it, but I'm gonna do it. Um, you all know my and I'm gonna serenade. I'm gonna close with a serenation. You all know my theme. You've seen my flyers. Let's rise up together, right? And you all know that song, correct? Let's rise up. Um, Actually, when the young lady, and it's going to relate to the city of Pontiac, because I do want us to rise up together. Basically, when Andrea Day wrote that song in 2016, she said that she wanted that song to uplift, to inspire, and encourage. Here it is, 2021, and it is. So, as the candidate of Pontiac, Miss Wanda Denise. For 2 minutes, I'm going to serenade the city of Pontiac, because I have a little song that's in my spirit, and it's just a love song. And I'm going to do this real quick, and it has to do with Let's Rise Up Together. So I'm just going to sing it to you, and that's going to be my theme as it relates to the city of Pontiac. Y'all ready for it? Something different? Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead. This is how it goes. And we're talking about rise up together. We're going to bring unity into the community. And I'm about to get started. So this is how the song goes. We're broken down and tired of how this city has been run. We can move mountains if we work together as one. Let's rise up. Let's rise up today. Let's rise up so the children can safely play. Let's rise up again and again and again. Come on, Pontiac, we're going to have to do this. Let's rise up. Let's rise up today. Let's rise up so the children can safely play. Let's rise up again and again and again. Come on, Pontiac, just sing it with me one last time. Let's rise up. Let's rise up today. Let's rise up, Pontiac, so the children can safely play. Let's rise up again and again and again. And then now, lastly, City of Pontiac. Now, how we're going to bring the city together? All we need, Pontiac, is love. And for that, hey, we got each other. We love each other. We love the city, right? I'm going to say it again. All we need, all we need, City of Pontiac. I'm going to show you my big heart here. All we need is love, Pontiac. And for that, we got each other. For that, Pontiac, we got each other. So we want to bring love back into the city of Pontiac. And I'll just say, hoo, 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 hoo,
Well, we definitely want to thank you for your time today and coming to speak with the residents of Pontiac. We
yes,
did have some extra questions that were in the chat. They
yes,
will be addressed tomorrow due to the fact that we did not have time.
yes, yes,
Please join us tomorrow at 6 as we have another Q&A session with Jeremy Bowie. And that will also start at 6 o'clock, and you can watch that on YouTube, and you can also watch it on the Pontiac United page.
yes,
We hope that you guys have enjoyed this time with Wanda Coates
yes.
and Pontiac United, and we want to thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Damar, for joining us as well, and we will see you all tomorrow.
And lastly, once again, make sure you guys vote August the 3rd. Wanda Denise Coates, my heart, here it is. I love the city of Pontiac, and I'm looking forward to being your mayor 2022, City of Pontiac. Thank you so much, Pontiac. Thank you, Pontiac United, for having me. It was wonderful. Thank you. And you're going to still see me, boots on the streets, talking to the residents. Thank you so much. Everyone be blessed. Have a good night. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Yep, and thank you to F&G Media for hosting.
Yes.